In this video, we're talking about ordering terms from least to greatest. We started out with 5 3/10, 505%, 5.2, and 5 1/4. So it's pretty easy. The idea is to convert everything to a decimal. Usually, if you have one thing that's a fraction, if you have everything as a fraction and only one decimal, maybe you would convert it. But generally speaking, everybody goes to decimals. So 5 3/10, that's an easy one. 3/10 literally means 5.3. This is also read 5 3/10. You could, well, there's another way to talk about this. We'll come back to it. This is 505%. To go from a percent to a decimal, you simply move the decimal point over twice. So you have 5.05. 5.2 is already a decimal. And then 5 1/4. Now you should know that 1/4 is 0.25. Like 1/4 of a dollar is 25 cents. However, on both of these, what you can do is you can multiply to get the denominator to be a 100. So 4 times what would give you 100? That would be 25. So 1 times 25. So this would give you 5 and 25 over 100, which is 25 hundredths. Same thing here. 10 times 10 would give you 100. 3 times 10 would give you 30, which takes me to a good point. We could put a 0 here, and we need to. Notice we've lined up the 5s, that's the whole number. We've lined up the decimals. We lined up the tenths position. Now, some of the numbers are longer. Well, you just fill those in. You can add zeros on the back side. It doesn't change the value of the number. We can add zeros all the way out, and it would still be the same thing as 5.3 or 5 3/10. Now we look column by column. So 5s, everything's equal, and you go left to right. So 5, everything's equal. Then you go here, you've got a 3, a 0, a 2, a 2. The 0 is obviously the smallest. Okay, now you have a 3 and 2 2s. Well, you've got a tie with the 2s, so you go to here. So 0, that's the next one. 5, which leaves this as the largest of the numbers. Sometimes it's more complicated. If you cannot convert to the denominator to 100, then you'll have to divide. But I'll show you what I meant here with the 1/4. So if you have 1/4, we want to get the denominator to be 100. So we're going to multiply by 25 over 25, multiply, and that will give us 25 over 100. 25 hundredths is the same thing as that. So generally speaking, we use that kind of method in order to figure out where we are. If the denominator is not a factor of 100, which means it can't be multiplied to get 100, then you have to divide in order to get there. I'll show you how to divide with 1/4, even though it does work the other way. Top number goes inside the house. Add usually 3 zeros actually for a number that is not a factor of 100. This one is. 4 goes outside the house. It goes 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. You subtract, you get 20. And then you do 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 0. And the decimal point comes straight up, so you get 0.25 again that way as well.